Well, some good news out of Thailand. It is getting recognition for its quickly growing automobile industry, and now the country is the world's third largest commercial vehicle maker behind the U.S. and China.
VOA Correspondent Steve Herman went to Rayong, Thailand, where many foreign-branded automakers are making cars for Southeast Asia. On assignment's Philip Alexio caught up with Steve to find out more.
Steve Herman in Bangkok. You know, I always thought of going to visit Thailand for the beaches, but certainly not to go there to consider it as a major hub for auto manufacturing. How did this all happen?
Well, this goes back a number of years. The first auto plants in Thailand actually got off the ground in the early 1960s, but it's only in the last 15 years or so that the industry has really taken off the ground and has become a major hub. In fact, it is the hub now in Southeast Asia for automobile manufacturing.
Now, what has sort of, I guess, prompted this surge in auto manufacturing there? What did they do?
There's obviously land available for the factories. There's a workforce. There's infrastructure. And, you know, we take these things for granted in the developed world, but if you're looking to go into different parts of the world, all of these things are not necessarily guaranteed for you, along with all sorts of incentives for you to set up your factories.
The automotive sector is now Thailand's third largest industry, comprising 12% of the country's GDP and employing 400,000 workers. Bangkok's clogged roads attest to the success, with sales accelerated by government tax rebates to first-time buyers.
Now, the other thing you have to keep in mind that we have a huge market in Southeast Asia. The ASEAN region covers about 600 million people, and it is a rising middle class as well. So there's potential not only for commercial vehicles, but a lot of first-time and now second-time or second-generation car buyers in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, the competition is heating up in the region, and you mentioned that Indonesia is sort of nipping at the heels, I guess, of Thailand. How is that competition working out?
They are the prime competitor for Thailand in this sphere, and they were briefly able to overtake Thailand in 2011 when we had devastating floods in the country, which destroyed some of the auto plants as well as the parts manufacturers, as well as a lot of the roads. And production went way down in Thailand, and Indonesia was number one in Southeast Asia that year in terms of production. But in 2012, Thailand bounced back, and in 2013, it is undisputedly in first place and appears it'll stay in that position in years to come.
The experts that you've spoken with mentioned anything about how they have to really, I guess, chip away at grabbing the market share of the labor force, which obviously is, in the future at least, may be a problem in Thailand because they've got full employment now, as you mentioned.
Right. So, some of the managers I was speaking with said that this is a challenge for them to be able not only to retain qualified workers, but to keep them as well. They, of course, all these factories have their own training systems. They're not expecting people to show up for the assembly line and know how to do it. They want to train them themselves. But they are looking for skilled engineers, technicians, electricians, people like that. They're increasingly sophisticated jobs. And you would think that there would be a lot of foreigners running around these factories, but from what we saw, we were in 3 different automobile manufacturing plants. I would say it was 99.5% Thais who were in there and running and operating these factories.
Did you get a chance to talk to any of the line workers at all?
They were very busy. If you see on the video, when you're on the assembly line, there's not much chance to really interact with them. That would be very distracting and could cause all sorts of problems for the assembly line. Everybody seemed in really good spirits, and they were very happy to have these jobs and felt they were being treated well by their employers. And all the manufacturers also have schemes to give very significant discounts for any of the employees that want to purchase an automobile from the company where they're employed making these cars and trucks.
Correspondent Steve Herman in Bangkok talking there with our Philip Alexio. Now, last year, about 2.5 million cars were made in Thailand, 1 million of which were exported, making the country now the world's 7th largest car exporter.